Hello, I'm Matt Williamson at Williamson NFL. We are brought to you by FanDuel, and I am here to break down and predict Steelers Patriots. I want to start with just kind of a Patriot overview. I think this offseason, the world, the analysts got a little ahead of themselves with the Patriots. You know, like a lot of teams or a lot of people had them, I think their over-under win total is like 8.5. I just don't see them in that light. They were really, really bad last year, and it's just basically a talent deficiency. I also think they were poorly coached last year. So to their credit, I think they have a coach. I adore Drake May, and he scares me to no end in this game, both a runner and a passer. And they have a pass rush. They have an excellent pass rush, and third week in a row, I've had to tell you guys, I know you might not know who Christian Barmore and Landry and Milton Williams are, but their defensive front is really, really good, and they are getting after quarterbacks in a big way. So for their rebuild, they have those three things in place, which might be the three best things, smart. They also have a shutdown corner in Christian Gonzalez, and I'm recording this Thursday morning. I don't think he's going to play. If he does, that influences things a lot. I think he would shadow Metcalf and probably have a sauce-like effect on Metcalf, which isn't good for Steelers. But the rest of this roster to me is a work in progress. I don't love their first-round pick, the left tackle. Henderson, the running back's really explosive, but he's struggling in protection. It's been more Ramondre than Henderson. Their receivers are okay, but kind of a bunch of 2s and 3s at this point. Safety, linebacker, rest of the secondary, not great. So Steeler offensive keys for me. I mentioned the pass rush. You got to slow down the pass rush. I would love to see, you have to have fewer hits on Rodgers. They go hand in hand. I have two keys there. But I would also like to be able to see more vertical passing. I don't think all the dinks and dunks and get it out quick game, and that's not even bad, is just Rodgers not wanting to get hit. I just think it's all they've really been able to do. Now, if that means more max protect, 6-man protections, 7-man protections, I'm fine with it, especially against this pass rush and against this secondary. Teams are throwing all over the Patriots. They're like not even trying to run because their pass defense has been that poor. So I would like to see the Steelers protect better, deal with the pass rush, better than they have, but at least a step in the right direction. And as a result, attack all areas of the field. How about a go ball or two to Metcalf? You know what I mean? Yeah, it sounds like I'm being critical of how they've thrown the football. I'm not really. I think that's kind of all they've had, and Rodgers has made the most of it. I'm kind of saying it as a compliment. But that doesn't mean that's good enough. I think you need to expand that. And to be honest, kind of an overriding thought for me with this game, most games it's pretty easy to find 8 to 10 matchups, individual matchups or themes that are pretty obvious. I'm finding fewer in this one for whatever reason. Part of it's because they just don't have a lot of big name guys. But I think this game needs to be more about you than them. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you're going to be a outside zone running team, well, then run a lot of outside zone and get good at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a get right game. It's not a preseason game by any means. But it's not, well, we can't do that against these guys. They're too good. No, do what you do and try to be the better, just be the better team. And if you can't be, you might have to re-examine the whole season as a whole to some degree. I mentioned Gonzalez. If he doesn't play, what will they do with Metcalf? I would imagine it will be similar to what Seattle did in that a lot of the coverage attention will go his way and they will beg the rest of the receivers to beat you, which against the Jets, they kind of did. Steelers ended up winning, and Austin had a better game than in week 2, and I see much more tight end involvement as well. They're leading the league in 12 personnel, but they're not getting a ton of production out of 12 personnel, nor are they attacking the middle of the field with those 3 tight ends as much as I would like. These linebackers and safeties to me are pretty vulnerable, including Robert Spillane. And you have to get some sort of running game going. So again, these aren't real Patriot-centric points for me. They're more about me than you type of thing. But I think the Steelers have better players than the Patriots. I mean, I just do on both sides of the ball. And you're a proud team that should be a little embarrassed right now. You should go and win on both sides of the ball. Now, do I think the Steelers front will beat the Patriots front time and time again? No, I don't. When the Steelers have the ball, I mean. But I'd like to see that be at least a draw in the run and pass game. You got to get some kind of running game going. I mean, again, maybe it's just pound the rock. I think we've talked about running back distribution. I think it's going to be a heavy, heavy Warren game. We'll see. I do think Rodgers should play well in this one if they can keep him from taking way too many hits. I think that there's matchups to exploit for him to find, weak links in the defense in the back 7. Everyone has so far. Football season is finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers will have the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whenever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on all the action.
Hey guys, if you're planning to see a Steelers game, use the Game Time app to get your tickets. You can snag new ticket deals before anyone if you set it into your app alerts. The app is easy to use. No surprise fees at checkout. You can see your seat view before buying, and you're getting legit tickets delivered on time. If you're not much of a planner, you can get last-minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. Lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app and enter the code DK Steelers into your app profile to get $20 off your first purchase.
All right, I have some notes here too on when New England has the ball. Just curious, will Jabril Peppers get involved against his former team? I'll be shocked if he doesn't. I mean, to me, that makes all the sense in the world. I think he's better than Chuck Clark. I'm not saying he's going to surpass Clark on the depth chart right now, but I'd like to see him mix in and just flash against his old team. He's going to be eager. He's highly competitive. They do have a reasonably dangerous 2-headed backfield, and Stevenson and Henderson will be on the field together. At least they have been through 2 weeks. They're looking for playmakers. Strangely, none of the rookie running backs, and Caleb Johnson is obviously the poster boy for this, have been very productive thus far through 2 weeks. And Henderson was considered the best in protection of all these backs coming out of what was supposed to be a great running back class. Well, he's been terrible in protection. So, the thing they could count on, third down receiver protection stuff hasn't been there for him. And Stevenson's been quite good. So, I don't know if this will be a Seattle situation where 2 good backs, but Walker really shines, or you keep them both bottled up. They have very different styles, but Henderson will take it to the house. Stevenson has showed some big playability this year as well. Another just goes without saying, overarching theme. You just have to improve the run defense, period. I mean, could we not have an embarrassing run defense game? May will run more than Darnold. I think it'd be nuts for them not to design some runs for him. It won't be Fields level, but he's excellent. And what's the best way to handle May? Is it going to be a keep him in the pocket, make us carve him up type of deal? I don't love that, although I do think their receivers aren't great. I would play him very traditionally. I would love to vary the coverages more. I mean, that goes without saying. I talked about that yesterday. Straight pass rush. I mean, mix in blitz. I wouldn't try to be too heavy. I'd like to see things varied up much more than they do in all capacities. More press coverage for sure. especially when blitzing. Less static single high stuff because you know they're going to high-low that free safety. But May's really, really good, and he's really, really talented. I'm curious. I don't have the answer to this. What is their approach for him? Is it just don't let him beat him with the legs and the young guy try to, just win with his arm? I think you might regret that. Who is the Patriots' number one receiver? It's not Hunter Henry, but he's been kind of a foundation out there all the time, reliable, old school, chain-moving tight end. And, okay. Diggs is getting work back slowly, but, steadily, not blowing anyone's doors off. Boutte has been impressive, but streaky. Did the Steelers do anything with Ramsey or specific for any one receiver? I bet this week the answer is no. I think he's kind of played that part a little bit straight. The O-line for New England is better than it was a year ago, but it was also one of the worst in the leagues last year. Again, third straight team where you're playing a first round selection on the offensive line for a reason. Morgan Moses at right tackle's fine. They're not weak linked as much across the front. But the Steelers' defensive line should destroy this group. Run and pass. To me, there's no excuse if you really don't win this battle decisively with the big people. As I mentioned, been the worst tackling team in the league, Pittsburgh. Let's just see fewer missed tackles. Done are the excuses of, hey, we didn't tackle much with our starters in preseason or in camp. But that's true for every team. Don't be the worst tackling team in the league. And I understand Fields and Hall and Walker are really hard to get to the ground. And I also think one of the reasons they've been the worst tackling team in the league is because these guys are getting too big of holes to run through. And it's much harder to tackle one of those three guys 8 yards downfield, especially without Minka, than it is before they get going. Now, the Steelers do have a lot of tackles for loss against the run. So they have done really good work, mostly Watt, of getting guys on the ground before they get going. But too much, they're, as you know, running through big holes, getting rolling, and then they become really hard to tackle. Prediction time. I think the Steelers roster is noticeably better than the Patriots. The Patriots have some building blocks. I think the Steelers win this game 23-20. And a lot of it's just hunch. I think you are in an infantile stage of the 2025 version of the Steelers, where you've got a lot of older dudes trying to make a name for themselves in the locker room, but you know what I mean? Just kind of who are the leaders. And I think a week like this, you would hope that some of the new guys, Ramsey, Rodgers, obviously, but certainly Watt, Hayward, and guys that have been here, take things to another level and win a somewhat decisive road game against an inferior roster. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe that's just an optimistic view because if you've listened to me all week, I didn't have a lot of good things to take away from the game too. So there you have it. All right, everyone. Thanks. See ya.